Good morning, children. So now we are going to discuss our chapter 12, electricity, assignment solution. The first question is this only: why is a tungsten used almost exclusively for the filament of an electric lamp? We know when we are concerned the case of a tungsten, which is having high melting point, it is approximately 3380 degrees Celsius, and also it will not oxidize immediately. So these are the two reasons in which we are using tungsten for the making of a filament of a bulb. Second question: why are the conductors of electric heating devices such as bread toasters and electric iron made of alloy rather than pure metal? So when you are concerned the case of this type of materials, for example in the case of a bread toaster or in the case of electric iron, they are heat generating devices. So resistivity of a alloy is generally higher than the resistivity of a pure metal. That is the reason we are using alloy rather than pure metal. Now question number 3: why is a series arrangement is not used in domestic circuit? So when we are concerned the case of a domestic electric circuit, we are using parallel combination. We are not using series combination. Why we are not using series combination? The first reason is we can observe that in series arrangement, any one of the appliances is failed, all other appliances are stops working. That is one of the reason. Another reason you can see that different appliances are working with a different current. That is not possible in the case of a series combination, because in series combination same current is passing through the circuit. Now we will consider question number 4. How does the resistance of a wire vary with its area of cross section? The resistance of a wire is varying inversely proportional to its area of cross section. So R is inversely proportional to A. Now question number 5. Why are the copper and aluminum wire usually employed for electricity transmission? We know that in the case of electricity transmission, usually copper wire or aluminum wire we are using. It is because they possess low resistivity. Now question number 6. Now we will discuss question number 6. The VA graph of two wires A and B are shown in the figure. If both the wires are of the same length and the same thickness, which of the two is made up of a material of a high resistivity? Give justification for your answer. So you can see that this is the way graph is coming for V and I. So this way we are having A and B. So these materials are made up of, you can observe that the same length, both wires are of same length and the same thickness. So we know R is equal to rho L by A. So resistivity is depends on, you can see that Ra by L. Both these materials are made up of same length and same area of cross section. So resistivity depends only on resistance. So we have to find in this case which wire is having higher resistance, that is having higher resistivity. So in order to find the slope of this, you can find the slope of this. You can see that. So in the case of a resistance of this first wire, you can take it as VA divided by I. And the resistance of the second wire, you can see that RB is equal to VB divided by I. So you can observe that VA is higher than VB. That means you can see that RA is higher than this RB. So resistance of the first wire is A is higher than this resistance of wire B. That means resistivity of A, you can see that is higher than the resistivity of B. Now we can consider our question number 7. Question number 7 we will discuss. State Ohm's law, write necessary condition for its validity, and how is this law is verified experimentally. What will be the nature of the graph between the potential difference and the current for this conductor, and name the physical quantity that can be obtained from this graph. So we can state this Ohm's law. We know that according to Ohm's law, V is proportional to I ohm. That means the current passing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the ends of this conductor. at constant temperature. So we can say that when we are considering V is equal to V is proportional to I, or V is equal to I into R, or R is equal to V by I. And also asking write the necessary condition for its validity. So this is valid, V is proportional to I, that is valid at constant temperature. So that is the reason we are stating the current passing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the ends of the conductor at constant temperature. Now, what will be the nature of the graph between the potential difference and current of this conductor? So, how is this law is verified experimentally? That is the third part. How we can verify this law experimentally? Yes. So we can consider the case of a circuit diagram like this way. You can observe that this way we are considering the case of a ammeter for measuring current and a voltmeter for measuring voltage, and battery also connecting. So in this way we are connecting the battery. You can observe that. So this is the positive side and the negative side. So this side becomes positive and this side is a negative resistance, and ammeter negative and positive. So this way you can consider our circuit diagram. Now, what will be the nature of the graph between the potential difference and the current in this? So the nature of the graph, if you are putting a graph between V and I, so the nature of the graph is a straight line, linear. That means V is proportional to I. Voltage and current are directly proportional. And name the physical quantity that can be obtained from this graph. From this graph, which physical quantity we can find? V and I we know. So R is equal to V by I. That means we can find the resistance of the conductor from this graph. Okay.